Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Unusual live today on Monday, the day after Juventus won, Bologna won. Why live? Because this morning I had a lot of things to do myself, so I couldn't record the video, and then I thought, you know, the time that I'm doing the recording, that I'm structuring, that I will, for as usual, 50 times recording again and stopping the video and start again because I don't find my words, because what I'm saying is not really what I'm thinking, and so on and so on. I said, you know what, let's try to enjoy the moment with Juventini so that we are live, also for the people that not always are able to be there quite late in the afternoon, so that we can speak about the game of yesterday. Not only the game, because I already prepared a lot of things, so it's a bit structured. I will show you a few pictures that I have put here. So you see here Corriere dello Sport, but then a few images that we have to speak about. Don't worry, we'll not only speak about referees, but there is an important thing to say and some things that I didn't really appreciate it yesterday. Then, for the people that are just joining or maybe watching in replay, don't forget that this evening, 11 p.m. Italian time, so if I'm counting really well, so it's 3 p.m. now, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, in 8 hours from the moment that I'm live now, so at 11 p.m. Italian time, I will be live on the channel of Romeo Agresti in English for the day after, where we'll speak more in detail about what he saw that was beautiful, what I thought was absolutely not okay, and we will have a beautiful discussion with the two of us. And that's also always a thing that you have to keep in mind the day after the game on the channel of Romeo Agresti. We'll speak, of course, about Huijsen. We'll give you an update about Mercato, because there are some players that are leaving Juventus as we speak. There is a player that I'm asking myself, is the Mercato closed really for him in exit or not? Because it's an important one. So Mercato, controversies of yesterday, and then the things that I didn't appreciate in the game of yesterday. And not only the atmosphere, like Daniel was saying, we can touch on that one, I agree. But especially the movements I didn't like, the individualities, and so on and so on. So it's a post-game live, because you know it, after the game I go immediately live without listening to the words, without rewatching the game. So sometimes things that I'm saying the day after, after watching the game again, I think about it and I said, Beppe, probably you were wrong. So, and usually I correct these mistakes with the video of the day after. But now we are live, so we have time to speak about it. Thank you for the people that are there, like Majet, like Styler Z, like Davide, Antonio Veljanovski. We couldn't get a pass to their defense in the first half. It was almost impossible. It's true. Tactical part will be a bit later in the video. Today's news is in a live session. Grande Bogdan. It is true. Ciao Rocco. Toilet break. No. Toilet break. No. Toilet break. No. Even if yesterday some people told me that I had to clean up the toilets, which I did this morning. To be honest, I did it this morning. Why? Because I don't know if I told you or not, but last Thursday, my wife, and that's why I didn't do the video last Thursday in the morning. But my wife was in hospital because she had a surgery, and she's still not at 100%, so I'm helping always at home, but even more than always, because I'm doing basically everything. This morning I went for the groceries, I cleaned the toilets, I did a lot of things this morning, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest, because I think it's important to help. We are 3 here, so the 3 of us needs to help. But no, so hopefully she's getting back fast, because it's so I have a weakness when people around me are suffering. I'm a bit I don't know. I feel bad myself. I want to take their pain, take it and make it my own. Then I'm really thinking about it. I said maybe not too much, because then I am suffering. But no, I'm always feeling unwell when people are suffering around me. That's something I don't really like. Ciao Stavros, ciao Mikey, ciao Gabby, ciao Mikey Mazzarese again. Yes, ciao Beppe. Sorry I wasn't able to make it. Don't be sorry. Never be sorry for that. But happy that he's here now. And you see, that's why I'm happy as well that we are scheduling that live today. Yesterday's game was definitely a tale of two halves. I just want to see us put 2 good halves together like everyone else would and not have to play catch up. Polla Bill Peppe, ciao Daniel. Daniel Perrone, grande Dragunj, Baderna Serra, ciao Chuck. Ciao Punsara, ciao, mamma mia, we are really a lot of people in the chat today. I'm happy. Okay, maybe it was not that of a bad idea to do the post-game today in a live. So, okay, what did I prepare, to be honest? We are back. Amati speaking, I believe, about the channel, not really about Juventus, because last year we started with a 3-0 victory over Sassuolo and then a draw 0-0 against Sampdoria. This year we start with a 3-0 win over Udinese and a draw 1-1 yesterday against Bologna. So we are there. Huh? Yeah, no change of coach. No change in the team with Mercato, even if we are the 28th and we know that we have still a few days to go and everything or nothing can happen. So the team didn't change, the coach didn't change, the results didn't change. But there are some things that change according to me. But we are back. Yeah, the channel, yes. Juventus, not yet. Softic Locatelli will be a big point of today's video. You know that it's a player I really like. It's a player I not only like, but I always defend when I think that people are exaggerating on him. Yesterday, I really disliked the game of Locatelli. So I try also to be objective when I can. Again, I repeat, because otherwise people, they will... what I say when I am on the channel doesn't mean I am correct. I don't have the golden voice or the voice of the truth. It's just my opinion. But I don't care about Locatelli, Vlahovic, Alessandro, Massimiliano Allegri. I don't care about the name. I don't care about the initial idea I have of them, because of course there are some people, players. I prefer some people, players that I don't like. But then when I try to judge, I try to do it objectively. And even if I see a lot of qualities in Locatelli, I think that it's a player that can do much better than what he already showed. And that in a lot of games he already showed it, but people were not able to see it. Yesterday, he didn't play well. He was one of the worst yesterday, but sincerely, one of the worst in yesterday's game. And this is something that he has to address as fast as possible, because it can't be that Locatelli is a player that is inconsistent, whatever role that he's playing. Then, am I dreaming to see him one day as a mezzala? Why not? Absolutely, could be. But I don't care, because if in some games he's able to play well in that position, then I expect some continuity. But again, this is something tactical and individuality that I want to do a bit later in today's video. Ciao GTA, grande Tarek, Marwen, ciao RBcom, 50% Paul Pogba is easily the best. According to me, he's not yet, not even at 50%. But I was already happy to see him yesterday. So can we start with the maximum of like, even if I know that the result of yesterday was not the best one. We are at 55. It's absolutely not good. I will already show you the first page that I wanted to speak about, because there is something I want to speak about before entering the analysis, before entering the mercato, before entering the individualities. There is something important I want to go for. 58, not enough. Then I drink my coffee and I don't care about what you're writing. If we don't reach at least 70, that's half of the viewers that we have currently. If we don't reach 70, no, ragazzi, no. Ciao Guardian, we are blocked at 63. What can I do? You know what? I will even participate myself. I will put a maximum of like myself, which usually I don't do on the channel. 64. Mine didn't arrive yet, huh? Mine didn't arrive yet. Okay, here we are at 68. 68, which is not bad, but we can do better. Aldo likes to watch me drinking coffee. Aldo, good. Grande, we reached them. Finally, we can start. Ciao, Galfi. That doesn't mean that you have to stop now. You can continue. Okay. Corriere dello Sport with in front page niente di bello, that you can have and give an interpretation in two ways. Niente means nothing. Niente di bello means nothing beautiful. But also, if you go back to the referee of yesterday, the name of the referee was and still is Di Bello. Niente di bello, nothing di bello. So nothing good also from the playing style, but also nothing good from the referee. And that's why I want to start my rant with today. Niente di bello. Okay, ragazzi. My dream has always been that I would have been able to speak about football, about the good or the bad performance that we did. Yesterday, bad performance. Let's already underline that one and put it in bold. That has always been my dream, to speak about football. I love, and you know it, tactics. I love technical moves. I love skills. I love patterns. I love to speak about that. Also, when we are doing bad, I love to analyze what has going wrong, where we can become better. I want to speak about the field. I want to speak about a beautiful thing that happened that gave me a lot of joy. I want to speak about something that made me really angry because we were not able to do some passes in their foot, and so on and so on. But unfortunately, we are only speaking about referees. Since yesterday evening online, you are only reading about controversies. The penalty that has not been given on the handball of the player of Bologna. The penalty that could have changed the beginning of the game at the 8th minute on Federico Chiesa. The goal that was cancelled for Adrien Rabiot. The penalty of Bologna, or for Bologna, caused by Ealing Jr. We are only speaking about that, with a lot of people that are taking advantage of the team that they are supporting. Anti-Juve are only speaking about that penalty that had to give a red card to Ealing, with a penalty that could have led them to the T0. Then you have the Juventini that are really angry because they are saying, no, because there was a penalty, why is nobody speaking about it? Nobody is speaking about the game. And I will tell you that what annoys me is that we are in 2023, we are in an era of VAR, that a human can do a mistake. I agree with that. I have no problem with that, because we are human and we all make mistakes. Like Alexandro can do mistakes, like Locatelli can do mistakes, the referee can do mistakes as well. By the way, thank you to Takishi that offered a random membership to the channel, to Zlatko, the Grande. Thank you, Takishi. Really appreciate it, my friend. So, as I told you, people can make mistakes. But in the era of VAR, you just can't. You just can't. Showing you, episode by episode, influence the game at the point where you can't speak objectively only about the performance that was not good from Juve. You can't, because the game is influenced by episodes. And today, this is not okay, because then you start thinking about manipulation, about behind the scenes changes, behind the scenes tasks and things that has been said. How many times were we dubious about the honesty of the referee on Juventus last season? That was a total disaster. But even 2 seasons before, in the semi-final finals against Inter, in championship in Serie A against Inter, we all remember it. And when we are starting to sum them up, it's a lot. It's a lot. Which are making me personally angry, because you can't have that much of an impact on a game with all situations that not even has been analyzed. Because it's good to think about, like in France, for example, that the referee is speaking at high voice, that everyone from the stadium can hear it, speaking with the VAR assistant so that everyone can hear it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to have VAR so that people can watch in the room. It's beautiful to say, like Italy is saying now, from Tuesday on you're able to hear VAR discussion between the referee and the VAR, because that will clear up a lot of things. First of all, Tuesday, it's already 3 days too late for me, because you can cut and edit as much as you want. Who guarantee me that it's the live discussion between the referee and VAR? First of all. Then, if you don't show the images, to the referee, how can he judge? How can he judge? And that's something that is making me angry, because today I want to speak about football and I can't. I have to speak about something else first. Let's put it clear to everyone in the chat. Juventus had to do better. Juventus should have win that game, even with the wrong decision of the referee. Okay? That being said, not using it as an excuse, let's go back and try to see what happened yesterday and what made me actually being pissed off. Because if you have VAR, if you have technology, if you have all these communication tools, you can't just ignore the fact that at the 8th minute of the game, there is a big push in the box from a defender of Bologna, a big push with the elbow on the shoulder of Federico Chiesa that was waiting for the ball. Then you will tell me, not sure, I am not convinced. Well, on the second image, you see clearly that after the push, the first touch, it's not first the header, is going with the hand. So you have a double foul there. First, the big push on Chiesa. Then you have the ball that is going on the arm of the defender of Bologna, And this is annoying. Saki is saying you can't give that. Why can't you give that? Why can't you give that? There is a double foul. And if you don't want to give it, if you don't want to give that one, at least I'm expecting that at the 8th minute of the game, VAR is saying, attenzione, because there is something strange. There is something strange that just happened. First, there is the push. Here you see the image, but unfortunately I can't show the video, otherwise I will have problems with copyrights. But you see that it's going really fast and really hard on the player. So this is annoying me, that there is nobody that is speaking about it. Nobody is speaking about this. Then you continue, because it's not over, of course. You continue with that handball. And our friends that are in the chat told us with the rules of Serie A, fallo di mano con scivolata, handball with a sliding tackle. What are the rules? It is clear that when there is a handball on a sliding tackle, you have 3 different things of interpretation. 1, if the ball is touching the arm or the hand that is actually the one that is giving you support, like the hand of the defender of Bologna, but the hand is alongside the body, it is not a penalty. 2, if the arm of support is far from the body, it is a foul. In that case, it is a foul. 3, if the ball is touched with the other arm that is far from the body, that means the other arm should have been like that, then it's also a foul. That's what they are showing us in the rules. That foul has not been whistled. Here, You see a clear deflection of the ball because the ball is going on the ground, and suddenly the trajectory of the ball is influenced by that touch of ball. And it's going up. Ragazzi, oh, this is the rule. It's not my rule. This is the rule. This is the rule. So, and we don't give penalty. And we don't give penalty. And we don't give penalty. Oh, Danilo got a yellow card for that, huh? Danilo got a yellow card, indeed, like Peter is telling it was not a penalty. It was outside of the box, but there he received a yellow card. He protested, saying that he didn't touch the ball, but the referee was saying you touch it with the ball, with the hand, so it's a penalty. So it's a yellow card. I'm sorry, now I'm confused. It's not over, huh? Because you have that goal with Rabiot that is effectively offside. He's not touching the ball. And there you clearly see that at the moment of Vlahovic receiving that ball and putting it in the goal, there is absolutely no obstruction. So it's not participating. He's not touching the ball, and he's not even obstructing the visual of the goalkeeper that actually Skorupski, super fast because he's a good goalkeeper. He jumped on the left side, touching the ball, and he's putting the ball in the goal. And you cancel that one. On that one, they went to VAR. It's not over, huh? Because here, I watched again a lot of time. I don't want to say it's only Juve, it's only Juve, it's only Juve, because this is a clear penalty. This is a clear penalty caused by Ealing Jr. and a red card. And also there, I immediately, when I was watching the game, I said, even before the whistle, I said this is a penalty. This is a penalty. We go 2-0 down. This is a clear penalty. This is a clear penalty. Then people told me in the chat, Bep, I don't know, because first he shot the ball. This is a penalty. This is a penalty. So, ragazzi, instead of going with, but Juventus was held by the referee on that one. Or Juventini saying, but all the other ones. Can we just say that the referee was a disaster? That VAR was a disaster yesterday? No, it was a penalty, ragazzi. It was a penalty. It was a penalty. So, can we just admit that the referee in 2023, in one game with 4 clear episodes, was a disaster? Was a disaster? Which one can I allow? Which one can I allow? That probably you can even discuss is the one of Rabiot, that you can give an interpretation. He's influencing maybe here. He's maybe influencing because maybe the goalkeeper is thinking that he will deflect the ball. I can even open a debate. On the other ones, no, I can't. I can't. So I'm not saying that Juventus should have won, should have lost, or whatever. This is things that I don't want to see anymore. Because then, if it happens like last year, and how many did we have? Salernitana is the biggest one that we all remember. Roma is another one where touch ball in the middle of the field from Dusan Vlahovic, and you have a goal from Locatelli that you disallow. A few weeks later, a few months later, you play against Monza. Monza is doing exactly the same, touching the ball in the middle of the field, and you don't. And they score that 2-0. Napoli, there is potentially a fall, but you're touching the ball and you're cancelling it. So instead of being 1-0 up, you are losing 1-0. How many? Sir Raz is remembering the one of Napoli. How many did we see the year before? Inter. How many? Penalty, not penalty. Zakaria, not Zakaria. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. And if the one that we cancelled to Dusan Vlahovic against Udinese was totally perfect, totally correct, and never you heard me complaining about it because it's an objective things. You have the VAR, you have the lines. Ealing was offside, he do a cross for Dusan Vlahovic. 4-0 or not, I don't care. I don't care. It is offside, to cancel. And this is, according to me, too much. But you know what's even crazier here is that you see in that middle thing here from the pages, it's not on the front page, huh? It just, wait, and let me show you. It's just this one. It's not on the front page. Let's put it here. We'll speak about Max in a second. Il Bologna non ci sta. That's the crazy thing. Bologna is complaining. Bologna is not happy. Bologna is not happy. Bologna is complaining. They are saying, no, the sporting director is going in front of microphones, complaining, and this was this. They receive a red card. Then you have referees that are saying this is the worst and the biggest mistake of ever of the era of VAR, and so on and so on. Bologna in protest. It's disgusting. We should have received that penalty, which they are even correct, but without mentioning all what happened before. Without mentioning everything that happened before. And according to me, at a certain moment, basta. Because also this is influencing. Why is Gazzetta dello Sport, that I will show you in a second, but why is Gazzetta dello Sport? I will show you in a second. Why? I will show you in a second. Because it annoys me. It just annoys me. Why is Gazzetta dello Sport here? Let me show you. Not speaking about the big mistakes from Di Bello according to Juve. On that page there is nothing. Allegri is angry, but they are not speaking about the fall. Non parla alla fine. He's not speaking at the end because he was not feeling really well after a ugly Juve and a ugly Di Bello. But there is nothing that is showing a scandal. They are speaking about Pogba. They are speaking about Südtirol and they are doing ads. They are speaking about Dusan Vlahovic. They are speaking about the ratings. We are still going. Page 7. Again, another ad. Page 8. Here, in big with one page, Bologna doesn't agree. Motta without words. But the club is raising the voice. It was a clear penalty. How is it possible that the media, in front of everything that I showed you, is only putting that one in a dedicated page, first huge page, while for Juve there is nothing? I can continue with showing you the page. Here another ad from Virgin Active, and here we are speaking about Napoli. Oh, ragazzi, that's the reality, That's the reality. That's the reality. Here. No, not even. I was thinking maybe there was something. No, there is nothing. They don't speak about it. So, no, because it influences. Oh, you're laughing now. You're saying, but Beppe, start speaking about the game, which I will do, of course. I wanted to close that chapter and then move forward. No, soft teach, no. You don't care, but people care. People really care. I mean, it influenced so much, that you can't even think how much this is influencing Italian people. The consequences of a week full of first pages is influencing referees since ever, is influencing players. Wait 1 second. Wait, because I received a message. Sorry for that. Sorry. Is influencing, again, I repeat, is influencing the referees since ever, is influencing some players, is influencing some judges, is influencing some judges Because on papers, because of papers, this is how they decide how many points deduction had to be given to Juve. And when I was telling you a bit earlier, we are joking, it's okay, it's just one game, Beppe, tranquillo, tranquillo, tranquillo. Last year, without the 2 points taken away of Salernitana, we were in Champions League. Then they would have taken away that Champions League, but it would have been a total different reaction from the supporters. Would have been totally different if you take away a Champions League than if you take away a Conference League. And again, and again, and again, and again. This has zero impact about how I will judge the bad performance of Juventus yesterday. Zero impact. It can have an impact on the result, but I don't care. I want to speak about the performance in a second. I want to speak about that. Oh, but that's why really I am pissed off today. I am pissed off because the front pages are influencing the supporters and so on and so on and so on. Then, is Juventus guilty? Because you see, Furia, Max is a furry because apparently, according to rumors, he was really pissed off after the game for the performance of the first half especially, but also for the reaction of Bologna and the non-reaction of Juventus in front of microphone. He decided, I don't go because I'm so angry that I will probably say something that is not okay. So I prefer to send Landucci. He was feeling a bit unwell and okay. But is this also maybe the time for Juventus to go in front of microphones and saying, stop. We don't want to speak about referee. We want to accept referee on the field decisions. But we can't just we being silent and the other ones speaking, the other ones being on the front pages with, hey, look, the one of Bologna has not been given, and just being silent and ignoring all the other things. Because the pictures that I showed you today, the picture that you all saw, starting with, again, this one, this one, this one, this one, they are nowhere to see. The only one that you are able to see is this one. Hey. Oh. So I agree that Max is angry. I agree that we are angry. Attention, because then we will speak about Mercato. Let me do and then we start speaking about the game. So let me do a transition. Thank you, Mohamed Youssef Grande. Thank you, really appreciate it. Why our team doesn't make noise? But this is exactly why is our team not making noise? Why are they see and they continue to play? I noticed this a lot. Other teams run towards the referee and force him to check. Well, there is a difference. No, Softage, no, I don't agree. If we start with that, I don't agree. I'm pissed off already with the thing. Then stop immediately because I don't agree. Then, could he do some things better? Yes. But I already told you yesterday. So if we start already with there is only Max and so on, oh ragazzi, that's what I was telling you a few days ago. Who is the coach? Decide. Because if we are doing well, it's because of Magnanelli. When we are doing bad, it's because of Max Allegri. Now nobody is speaking anymore about Max Allegri. No, of Magnanelli. Nobody. I didn't read the name of Magnanelli. No, nobody. But anyway, we have to be objective. What can we blame Max? There are some things that we can blame Max. Maybe insisting for too much with Fagioli. Maybe not understanding fast enough that you could have done that change that he did in the half time. Maybe not being able to offer more solution if on the left and on the right it was blocked. You can do a lot of things. You can criticize a lot of things. Now, starting with, but it's because of Max Allegri, and it's because only Max Allegri, and it's because only... Mamma mia. On the other side, answering the question of Mohamed, last year I was really angry with Dusan Vlahovic because from the moment that he was held back, From the moment that there was a foul on him that was not whistled, from the moment that whatever, he was just stopping playing. He was stopping playing. He stopped playing and he went out of the game, lost totally his focus, and Dusan Vlahovic was not calm and focused enough as a number 9, as a striker, to play his game. And a lot of time we saw him because angry, because of this, because he was not able to score, because out of the game. So I would recommend you continue to play, because whistled is whistled, not whistled. It's not whistled, but from the moment that you continue, that the ball is rolling, you don't lose focus, and you focus on continuing to play. From the moment that you whistle, I agree, at a certain moment you have to go. You have to go and you have to speak. According to me, Juventus should speak. According to me, the players should do a bit more of a casino, of noise. Not when the ball is rolling, not to receive yellow cards, not to lose focus and being frustrated and going out of the game, but at a certain moment we have to speak. We have to speak up. We have to speak up. So I agree kind of with Mohamed on that one. Now, again, I really don't want to speak too much about it. We already gave too much space, but I'm scared that at match day 2, again, we are direction, controversy, penalty given, penalty not given, a foul, not a foul. Is it correct that we lost, or is it not correct that we lost, if we are summing up all the things that influence the game? And this is not okay. And this is not okay. Victor Beppe is correct. We have to be vocal about it. If we don't raise their issues, everyone will just think about the referee was correct, where it was or not. And no, at a certain moment, basta. I know it's impossible, but in my fantasy, I really wish one day that Exor buys Gazzetta dello Sport. But it will not change anything, Antonio, because we have La Stampa, for example. And La Stampa is, like every paper, should be totally free to speak about and to write what they want. So Exor is owner from La Stampa, but La Stampa is not a pro-Juve paper. The pro-Juve paper is Tuttosport pro-Juve. They try to be as objective as possible, giving you all the information, and then you are the one that decides. But it's not owned by Juve. But even La Stampa is absolutely not a paper that is in favor of Juve and owned by Exor, so it will change nothing. Johnny, Juve should go in war to Gazzetta. I don't want to now give us a bad sign of it's Gazzetta, that's the paper that we have to accuse. No, it's the referee that did really bad. Then Gazzetta is influencing even worse. Chuck, cook, baby. No, I will not cook. It's just I'm angry. Azzurri Juve, even the post-game commentator, she immediately showed Bologna's play in our box and didn't address any other. No, but it's really strange. Yeah? Whatever you are in the world, they speak about one thing only, and that's annoying. Calma, it's only the beginning of the season. Some players not informed yet, but that's about the game. I think 3-4-2-1 should have come earlier at 55th. Ciao, Michael Raso. By unpopular opinion, McKennie is an important squad player for us, unless we get another right wing back or go to 20 million euro offer for him. He should stay. Happy birthday, by the way, to Weston McKennie, because today is his birthday. But if we go to what I wanted to show you about Kostic. One time is a coincidence. People told me that I had to stop saying casuality. So for the people that are watching, one time it's a coincidence. He didn't enter, he was not ready, it was whatever. 2 times. Okay, that you give continuity to the beautiful performance of Cambiaso against Udinese, I can understand it. That you are not entering him at a certain moment, and the excuse is, yes, but we needed a kneeling that is able more offensively to change the game. Here we are speaking about the best assessment of Juventus 22-23, the second best assessment of 22-23 behind Kvaratskhelia, that played at the moment 0 minutes in 180 available minutes. He didn't enter, ragazzi, it's a lot, huh? Because if you're not entering him, but you let Ealing Jr. stays, that means that you have more confidence that the kid that has just been promoted from the next gen can solve you the game, while an experienced best assessment of Juventus 22-23 is not able to. So putting Ealing yesterday instead of Philip means he's on the transfer list and we have to manage to sell him. I believe as well. I have no guarantee, I have no certainties, but I believe as well that he's on the transfer market list, that it's a player that if the offer arrives in the last few days, he can leave with Juventus. And I don't believe that the Mercato is closed, that we'll really try until the end to have a right side player. And that's why I want to link with the message of Abai about Weston McKennie. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, because then we continue with Mercato, a bit of voices before going towards what we did bad, because that's the core of the video. Do you agree with me that the team that we have on paper can compete with Serie A? Of course, they can. But again, because of financial problems, because of the fact that we were not able to do that Vlahovic plus cash swap, receiving also Lukaku, because we were not able to sell a Bremer, a Federico Chiesa, and so on, that we were actually blocked on the Mercato. We have a team that is, in certain parts, how can I say, worrying me, because you are playing with players that are adapted to a role. Let's speak about Weston McKennie. You have a Wea that is adapting to that role because he was a striker. He was a striker, then from a real number 9 became a right winger in a kind of 4-3-3. Then he dropped back. At Lille, he was a right back. He also already played as a left back. Now he's adapting to that role, which caused, and I will repeat it how many times, which caused the fact that Danilo is playing for him, because the Wea that Max Allegri wants is loading. He will arrive there, he will get there, but at the moment it's a player that is loading. So it's an adapted player in that position, that is learning the skills, that is learning the tricks and the tips of that role. A Locatelli that is adapted in that role. If you want to, an Alexandro that is adapted to that role because he's a left back that is not performing anymore in a 4-man defense, and because he's there, we try to recuperate him in a 3-man defense, where 1 game is doing well, 3 games is not doing well at all. You have, again, Locatelli, I already said, you have a Weston McKennie that when he's entering in a position that is not his position. You have a Federico, if you want to extend it, you have a Federico Chiesa that is now adapting to a new role in that 3-5-2 that yesterday caused some problems, because a lot of time, I didn't like the game of Federico Chiesa yesterday, a lot of time was playing on the left, was pushed on the left himself, because that's his natural movement. I believe that Chiesa will do much better in a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, whatever, as a second striker. I think he has more potential in that role. I think that from the moment that he's unlocking himself, like we saw in that first half against Udinese, has majority of balls that he can touch, that he can play. He has more freedom to go on the left, on the right. He can find his position, but it's also a player that we are adapting. It's also a player that we are adapting in that role. So it's a team, again, with a lot of players adapted, not only from the players that are entering from the bench, but also from the players that are starting. And that starts to be a lot. That starts to be really a lot. Because these players, they can have a beautiful game, they can have a great game, and then when in difficulty, they have some problems. So, Zlatko, Beppe, if it's possible, I want to hear your opinion about the 440 million and Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio case. But it's in a few words, because these are topics that we are carrying since 2006 and we are now 2023, Juventus never agreed on the fact that the 2 Scudetti were removed from Juventus. They also didn't agree, and especially didn't agree, that we gave 1 Scudetto to Inter without any reason, because they didn't even finish second but third, but without any reason, especially after everything what happened later with all the audio tapes that went public after it was not able anymore to take them to court, and for all the image penalization rights going in second division and so on and so on and so on. They asked already with Andrea Agnelli in the back then it was 267 million euro that we were asking, but every time that you go to court about that process, about that topic, they're always going with the final decision saying we are incompetent in taking a decision. That in the Italian court language means we don't have the ability to take a decision on it. We are not allowed to take a decision on that topic. But I believe that we have to check for the English signification, meaning of the word incompetent, because we went in different courts for that topic, and every single time they're always saying we are incompetent, but I believe really they are incompetent, because it's crystal clear that if you don't want to give them back to Juve, you have to take them away from Inter, because it's absolutely not correct. And the image repercussion that it went on Juve, and that's why I know that Softic went out, because I didn't agree with him, because he was again always pointing finger only to Max Allegri, which I don't like, because it's not correct. Because if we are starting to analyze things like this and pointing finger only on Max Allegri yesterday, it's not correct. When he's doing bad objectively. But if every single thing that we are saying Max Allegri is angry, which is correct, because I was angry, people were angry, today people are still angry with all the things that were thrown again at Juve, showing the Bologna intervention, but not the ones of Juve, that the guy is angry also about the performance in that first half on his team, and everybody has to be angry about himself. There is a foul, but Allegri should foul himself, but Allegri needs to go. Oh, ragazzi, but like this we can't have a discussion. So, we have to blame not the referee, not only the referee, we have to blame, I believe, Juventus' huge mistakes as a team of yesterday. We are not in a summer, we didn't become the first half of Udinese, and by the way, we were not able to replicate it in the second half, but we were not in danger because of that 3-0, even if after the game we were already speaking about a shaky defense in certain moments of that game, which could not happen. So I remember some people were telling me, Beppe, but you are too harsh on the team after a 3-0. Don't forget that we won 3-0. And I said, no, because when we win, I prefer to be harsh on the team, because objectively, yes, we won, but I saw a lot of things that were not okay. And I want to do better. And today, I don't want to go, we are the one of 2023, we are the one of 21-22, because it's not true. Because you have to be in balance, saying we see progressions in some areas, but there are a lot of things that we have to do much better. Then the result of yesterday is influenced from one side and the other side. But we have to do much better. So I would just want to give you an update about Mercato, and then we can go towards what I didn't like yesterday, and there were a lot of things that I didn't like. Ciao, Ferenc. So Kostic, I believe, he's really on the market, and I believe that we will, and I think, and that's why I was speaking about the roles, I think that we should go for a right side player. And I hope Juventus will try to go for a right side player, but a right side player which knows the role, that knows that if Weah is not performing, we can sub him with a guy that is able to do that role correctly, because he knows the tips of the task. Then players are leaving. I will show you here on this one. Caio Jorge and Sule are already direction Frosinone. Don't deal for Sule and Caio Jorge. You know how much I sponsored Sule on the channel since his youth academy days. You know how much I appreciate him. You know how much I believe in him. In a 3-5-2, there is not a lot of space for Sule to play because also him, I don't want to see Sule in a 3-5-2 adapted with defensive skills. It's not Sule. It's not his role. He's an offensive player and playing up front with a Yildiz, with a Keane, with a Milik, with a Dusan Vlahovic, with a Federico Chiesa. There is no spot for Sule. So I believe that joining his friend Barrenechea, that was already able to change Frosinone, it's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful one. I'm really curious to see Frosinone. Also with Caio Jorge, that I don't believe will be a starter in these first months, but that can have some minutes of game, and I believe it's a good thing. Juventus, we knew it. Too many players for one game only, so I think it's correct. Castagne to Fulham, since this morning official. There is only Holm that is a possibility at the right side, except if Giuntoli comes with the rabbit out of the hat. You never know, but I believe that we have to go with a push of Holm, that there are two teams on him, Atalanta and Juventus. David, football is a team game and only one person cannot be guilty. You have one that are doing more mistakes than the others, of course, because the sum of individual mistakes makes that the team is not performing. So, of course, you have to analyze who's doing well, who's doing bad, but at the end, you have to judge the entirety, what went well, what went wrong, and divide the responsibilities. Can we only blame Max yesterday? No. No, we can't. We can't because yesterday we start immediately with the lineup that every single one of us were asking for. We're all asking for. We said we want exactly the same team with one change. Fagioli instead of Miretti. Of course, yesterday we didn't win, so what is the narrative today, which I don't like? You know what's the narrative? 109 different formations from Max Allegri on 109. Please, before I speak about Berardi, please tell me, when you are playing with 9 on 11, because the goalkeeper has a knock. By the way, today he was not even able to train in the day after. For the people that didn't play yesterday, Szczesny was not able to train today. He will try to recuperate for Empoli. Let's see, otherwise it will be after the international break. Can you tell me if Max Allegri yesterday, with the lineup that I will show you in a second, is doing right or wrong? Because he's changing the goalkeeper because the other one is injured. That's what he's doing, changing the goalkeeper. And then what is he doing? Fagioli instead of Miretti, which everyone were asking for. For the rest, you have exactly the same formation. You have exactly the same formation. No, but tell me, I'm glad to hear you on that one. Tell me, maybe I'm wrong. No, Acid, it's not about Gatti instead of Alexandro. That's not the question. The question is, we are now blaming Allegri that is playing 109 formation differently on 109 available games. That's what we are now blaming Allegri for. I'm not saying it's the right formation or the wrong formation. I'm telling you that in that specific case, he's doing what is the most logical thing. If Alessandro is giving a correct, great performance, because that's what it is, against Udinese, giving stability to a defense that is not conceding goals. If you have an injured goalkeeper, you can't go with the same exact formation. If you are playing your starter, that is Fagioli, instead of Miretti, because Fagioli showed in training session to be ready, you are doing what has to be done. If you change Gatti, because that's what we are speaking about, if you are changing Gatti instead of Alexandro, and we don't play well, you can say that because of the change of formation, we are doing bad. Because Allegri had to go with the same copy-paste formation instead of 109 changes on 109. But he's keeping the one that he can, with the only change Fagioli instead of Miretti, because Fagioli is the starter that was not ready to start against Udinese. That's what we are speaking about. Then, what are the mistakes? I believe it's more on the field than the men that were chosen. I already explained you about Wea. You believe me, you don't believe me. You go with I prefer this, I prefer that, I prefer this, I do. It's up to you. But I gave you the real reason why Alexandro is playing instead of Gatti. I already repeat you since before the first game of the season. It's a Wea that is adapting to a new role, Wea that is loading to understand what he can do, what he cannot do in that role. You like it or not, it is what it is. Now, let's first speak about Alexandro, and I believe a lot of people will probably agree a bit more with my analysis on that. Alexandro is there since how much? 8 seasons? 9? It's the 9th season now, 8 or 9th, I don't know. It's a player that since a lot of season is not performing in his original role of left back, and is performing, yes and no, in that 3-man defense. When I'm saying yes and no, is that sometimes he's giving you that stability, sometimes he's able to do a beautiful game, sometimes, and sometimes it can be 3 games in a row before having that big dip, before disappearing. Or, like we see, it's 1 game okay, and yesterday was a real disaster because Alexandro was objectively really, really, really bad yesterday. So if you have 6 defenders because you couldn't go on the Mercato, with Alexandro that is in his last year of contract, whatever will happen, he will not be there next year at Juventus. Aging player that is doing mistakes, because it's not the first time, he can't be immune. So if you are telling Beppe, oh ragazzi, I will say it, and you know that usually I don't like these kind of things. Usually I don't like these kind of things because I don't want to burn fantastic youth products. Play Huijsen. Mistakes. For mistakes, let the young kid do mistakes. No. If you're telling me, I don't care, that Alexandro is able to do 10 top games and 1 flop, I tell you, play. I don't care that I like, I don't like. Play Alexandro, and I will support him, and I will hope that he will do 11 games well instead of 10 and 1 bad. But if you're telling me that it's 1 good and 3 bad in his last year of contract, a player that you will not cash in because you will not be able to sell him anymore, it's a player that is like his contract ending. Oh, then you play the kid. Then you play the kid on the left. If you tell me that Gatti at the moment can't play because of his aggressivity, because of sometimes not focus, because loading Wea, I understand it. Don't play Gatti at the moment until we have a player, until we have a Wea that is able to do up and down in that 3-5-2. And I agree. I patiently wait until Gatti is able to calm down, that Wea is able to understand it, and that right side is working. But if you are telling me that, I agree. But on the other side, mistake for mistake, let the young kid have some experience. Now I have a good news from what I heard. The good news from what I heard is Huijsen is growing day by day. And I want to even push it even further. Huijsen is growing and developing hour by hour. From the rumors that I have, and I will ask it this evening to Romeo Agresti to have a confirmation. From what I heard, he's impressing a lot. And I will tell you even more. You know who is leading that defense when they have the ball? So building from the back? It's not Danilo. It's not Bremer. That is in difficulty. By the way, we have to come back on the performance of Bremer. It's Huijsen. You know why? Ambidestro. You know what that means, ambidestro in Italian? That you can play with your left and with your right. Regardless. You can build with your left, with your right. Regardless. He doesn't have to adapt his body when he has to go with his left or when he has to go with his right. He's growing and he's convincing. And he's receiving the responsibility to also start. To also start with that ball from the back. And that means that's a really beautiful sign. He's convincing a lot. Now, it's not the technical side that is disallowing him to have minutes right now, at the moment, before the team is running it up and down. But it's the psychological thing. A psychological thing that if you miss 2-3 games in defense, you're punished immediately. And they don't want to burn a young player, which happened with players like Criscito, for example. Because from the moment that you are missing, and you know it, Miretti is a discussion point. Yesterday, Fagioli started to be a discussion point. Moiskin is a discussion point. Dusan Vlahovic is a discussion point. Do you remember yesterday? They don't want to burn him. Because it happened in the past. Now, attenzione, because Huijsen doesn't look to be really influenced by what's going out of the field. Really mature, looks like a guy without emotions. Can do it. I would not be surprised if we can see him really soon taking the lead of the defense. Ciao Mohamed. I think Yildiz will stay long at Juventus. This is something that we can't predict. And I will even tell you, don't think like that, because you will be disappointed. If it's not Yildiz, you will be disappointed on the second one, on the third one, on the fourth one. The thing that I can tell you about Yildiz is that the entourage is extremely satisfied about how the things are going at Juventus, from the journey that has been promised to the kid to how the coach is speaking about it. He renewed already, so it's a player that I think they will even renew further without any problem. A player that Juventus believe in. He has the qualities, so yes, I can tell you that everything looks like pink and flowers and everything is going well. But again, don't get too much, don't dream too much about he will stay long, because tomorrow you have an offer of 100 million euro per year salary and the kid is gone. Huh? You know it, and Juventus can't refuse neither, so pay attention. Okay, wait, that I go back to what I liked, what I didn't like. I mean, no, I think he will. Of course, as I told you yesterday, it's much more difficult to get some minutes in defense than in the front. But mistakes for mistakes, give him mistakes. Then today the problem is that we jump on everything. One bad pass and it's a disaster. So I would pay attention. Yeah. We are in closing time. I didn't speak too much about the game yet, so let me check about the lineups. That were the lineups. Let me check if we have something else. Yeah, I have. Of course, I have other things, but I wanted to go first with Vlahovic non basta. Vlahovic is not enough. Chiesa fuori posto. Che brusco risveglio, il Bologna è furioso. Vlahovic is not enough, Chiesa out of position. What a brutal awakening for Juventus. Bologna is furious. So they are again speaking about furious Bologna, about the penalty they didn't get, again, correctly so, but it's Juventus that should be even more angry than Bologna on that one. So what I loved and didn't like about Juventus, I told you, about the intention of the game. It's not a Juventus that wants to wait. It's not a Juventus that wants to wait. I already said it yesterday, because go back, and you don't have to watch a long time. You don't have to watch the 90 minutes of the game. But to understand the intentions of the game, watch the first 3 minutes of the game. Just that. Go back. In replay, you watch the 3 first minutes of the game. Every single player of Juventus is starting with a big boost, and they give us the sign that the indications that they were receiving was run with intensity, with velocity, press high immediately the one that is carrying the ball. And we see immediately, look at the turbo start of Vlahovic and Chiesa, up on the man of Bologna, immediately. So, you can't tell me that the intentions of yesterday were to wait in our defense, which we didn't do, by the way, which we didn't do. And that's why I'm telling you that there is a big difference with 22-23. In 22-23, we would have given the ball to Bologna easily, like that. A pass to Bologna, and this time with the pass accuracy, in the feet of Bologna, telling them, do whatever you want with the ball. You are the boss. And it happened away from home, and it happened in our home. Yesterday, no. Yesterday, that was not what Juventus wanted to do. Juventus wanted to press. Unfortunately, from the moment that Juventus understood that they were running against a wall to press and to reach the ball, from the moment that they wanted to try again that technique, but this time not only on the left, but left and right, to go find Cambiaso, to find Weah in that first half, and that Thiago Motta, he understood immediately to block not only one, but both of the wings, because probably, when I was telling you, surprise, Thiago Motta start playing also on the right side. Well, Thiago Motta was anticipating also a surprise, and that's why he blocked both of them. And yesterday you go towards a midfield that is totally invisible. Rabiot first half is a disaster. Fagioli first half is a disaster. Locatelli first half is even more than a disaster. I will tell you what about Locatelli. Locatelli, yesterday, I compared the three. Locatelli, Rabiot, Fagioli. Locatelli had... No, let's speak about the three first. Possession lost. Ball possession lost. Locatelli 14, Rabiot 8, Fagioli 8. Fagioli didn't play the full game. Locatelli neither, but Locatelli went out 5 minutes, so Locatelli had more time. But 14. Pass accuracy, Locatelli 83, Rabiot 92, Fagioli 93. Okay? We are speaking about a midfield that is losing possession, the three of them, and one of them is not even accurate. Of course, Locatelli touched more balls than Rabiot and Fagioli, but was not accurate. What is doing me thinking that you can't have your regista, your brain of yesterday, the one that should dictate the game, that is losing balls more than the other ones, and on top of that, is not precise. And you know how much I love Locatelli, you know how much I defend him, also in that role, for the support that he's giving, for sacrificing himself for the team to help him. So, but correct is correct. Yesterday was a bad game of Manuel Locatelli. And that's where I think that at a certain moment, if it's not working, or you change and you go towards a 3-4-1-2, with the Kenan Yildiz behind Chiesa, Vlahovic, or if you want to, you can go towards a 3-4-3, Chiesa on the right side, Kostic or Ealing, maybe even Ealing on the left. You play a 3-4-3 so that you have two-man midfield instead of three, which happened. At a certain moment, we saw a 3-4-1-2, but way too late. It was in the last 5 minutes of the game. Way too late. When you have a Weston McKennie that is entering on the right, when you have a Kenan Yildiz that is entering instead of a Wea and Locatelli. But way too late. And I believe that's one of the mistakes of Max Allegri. Yesterday, he should have understand much earlier that Locatelli was not performing, that he was really bad. So, or you're changing and you put, if you believe in Locatelli and you see that Fagioli is also in difficulty because he was anonymous yesterday, you move Locatelli on the right side and you insert Nicolussi as a regista. And that's what I blame, for example, Max Allegri yesterday, is that in the US tour, never he tried the solution Locatelli, Mezzala, Nicolussi as a regista. Because today we have the problem that we have a regista Locatelli that when he's not sacrificing himself for the team, we don't see a Locatelli that we want. A Locatelli that at the moment is not building, and if a Locatelli is having a bad game, it's a Locatelli that there is no solution behind it. Because we don't know. If yesterday you put Nicolussi in as a regista with Locatelli on the right side, you don't know if it will work or not. Because you never tested it. So I agree with Darius. I would have played Nicolussi much earlier. Or you go towards a 3-4-2-1, or you go towards a 3-4-3 or whatever. But if you play with 5-man defense, you put out Fagioli that was clearly not in his best game. You switch Locatelli on the right with Nicolussi there as a regista. If it's not working, and you don't want to spend another change, you swap them again, because Nicolussi can do both. If it's not working after 10 minutes, you swap them without any change. You play for 10 more minutes, and then you put Locatelli out, and you put a Pogba in with Nicolussi there, because Nicolussi will already have 10 minutes. Rovella should have been that guy. Yes, he should have been that guy. Now, Rovella, unfortunately, is injured. So, Rovella, did he play yesterday with Lazio? Because I didn't follow anymore Rovella. Let me check. He didn't. Okay, I was about to check, but if people already tell me he didn't, you see. So even Ravella is not ready. What do you want me? An injury-prone player. We already have enough injury-prone players. Thank you, Andar. So, even Ravella would not have been the solution today. But it's a player that I told you, I appreciate it a lot. Player that I really wanted to do well, that I thought that he could have been that surprise. I always also said that after 5-10 games he could have been the starting regista of that team, because I see and recognize qualities on him. Of course, on a playing performance future, I don't wish him the best anymore. And no, if you don't believe in Juve and your dream is to go to Lazio, hopefully you will play only one time the Champions League, and it's this year. I hope you will never anymore playing the Champions League. But anyway, Lazio will get Gendouzi for midfield. Yeah, I heard about that. Are there some other things that I didn't like? Again, what is the correction of Max Allegri yesterday, for the people that were not here yesterday in the post-game, was to change Rabiot and Fagioli, with Rabiot on the right side, Fagioli on the left for the second half, which worked much better. But no, yesterday I didn't like that. It was not working, and we have no alternatives. We stopped playing. We don't understand even the second half. Second half, you play with 11 men in the half of Bologna, and yes, you scored twice. Yes, you scored twice with the Dusan Vlahovic that I really liked yesterday. but you were not able to do really, it was not like a team that knows what to do and goes with 100 shots on target in second half, also because of Bologna. That was good. That was really good yesterday. But I believe that the second half that I appreciate it more because I see some sense of we don't want to wait until the last 10 minutes to have, that anger. I saw a team growing in physical condition because you were able to run. According to me, it's a better Juve than 22-23 with more will, but not enough. I didn't like Chiesa yesterday. I don't know. Can you tell me a vote for Federico Chiesa yesterday? How much would you rate Chiesa yesterday? Then I will tell you. I don't like to go with the votes, but I can tell you mine a bit later. But how much would you rate Chiesa yesterday? 3 on 10 for side, mamma mia! But 3 on 10 is that never exists, huh? 3 on 10 means you do like two own goals. 4 for Sebi, 5.5 for Chiesa, for Stavros. Mohammed is giving a 6 for Chuck. 6 Jim, 4 on 10 ambitious. You Emily 5.5 for GTA. Thomas 5.75. 0.7 for Carmelo Spataro. 0.7 is a lot, huh? Rise and Cross 6.5 for Andar. 4 insufficient for Eugene. 6.5. 6. I see a 9 on 10 from Enderit. Mamma mia, you are the brother of Chiesa, or the father of Chiesa, probably. Enrico. It's not Endrit, it's Enrico, like the father of Chiesa. That's why you are giving him a 10. A 9, sorry. Yeah, only his father can give him a 9 because it's not objective. No, if you are objective, no. Okay. I would give him a 5.5. No, but Dario, it's not about no bad, no good. Yesterday he did a lot of things bad, because yesterday he was not respecting the game plan, because a lot of time you saw him going on the left, where in the first half he was stepping on the feet of Cambiaso. Cambiaso also him, not perfect yesterday, because 3 times you see strikers of Bologna, of offensive players of Bologna that are going up. You have already the 3 men marked by Alexandro, Bremer and Danilo, with another one, a 4th one on the right side of their field, so our left side, where Cambiaso is not giving support. So Cambiaso probably was thinking that it was only an offensive player yesterday, not giving support in the back, where Chiesa was stepping on his feet on that thing. So instead of Cambiaso understanding and answering that he can do like 2 times, 3 times, well, I believe that Chiesa was forcing that movement a bit too much. I believe that they were so happy that it worked against Udinese that Chiesa was forcing it, and a lot of time trying to go from that side of the field. So that's doing not the things super well. So I believe again that he was trying again to do overdoing things and not respecting positions. I was not 100%. Pepe was against the signing of Milik. In my opinion, Milik has been terrible so far. Unfortunately, really sad to see Milik being the first option from the bench for the attack. I didn't want Milik neither. I was happy about how he started. I praised the way that he was playing at Juve the first 6 months before his injury. Then he disappeared a bit. I have to say that yesterday it's not that he was terrible and the game before. I didn't like his, I told you, I didn't like his preseason at all. I didn't like it. And Milik is giving you nothing. So the 2 times that he entered yesterday, he's giving me nothing. He's not doing things bad. He's not doing things good. He's doing nothing, which is also a consequence of doing things bad. So no, I didn't like. I didn't like. Wolf 5.5 plus 0.5 for that nice dribbling, so it's 6. But if we have to judge a dribbling, I don't know. Antonio, I think Milik and Iling should have entered like 10 minutes earlier. Milik entered quite early instead of Chiesa. But that's also a change that I don't get. It was explained the last time by Max why the change and so on, Milik. But yesterday he enters instead of Chiesa again. That's something I don't understand, to be honest. Why? Why? At the 74th. So he has 15 plus 7 that we played. He had like 25 minutes to do it. Why is he entering instead of Chiesa? That's my question. He should enter instead of Vlahovic. But as we saw, Vlahovic was doing well. You have no point in changing that. Then let Moise enter. Let Yildiz enter. If you believe in Yildiz, that's the moment you have to put Yildiz in. And then, when you change Vlahovic, if you change him, then it's for Milik. Ciao Aldo. Maybe after 10 games into the season, so we can get a technical analysis with Mo. Yeah, could be. The thing with Mo is he had a lot of things to do. Changing from country for work and so on. Not always easy to have him. And Mo is a perfectionist. When he's doing things, he wants to do them fantastically well. So if Mo is not, according to him, really near to perfection, he doesn't want to go on camera, which is understandable. Because when you are a perfectionist, you want things to do well. Max is too conservative enough with 3 back line play total football. I don't know, Kirill. Because I told you, I don't care about 3-man defense if the behavior is attacking. And again, yesterday, the initial request is to press high, is to stay high. If you see yesterday again, can I show it here? I'm not sure. Let me try to check it. If you check the behavior of the team, first half and then in total game, you see Juventus is super high on the field. Super high on the field. So I believe it's the intention more than 3-man, 4-man, or whatever. Look, I show you here. You see, that's Juventus. That's Juventus. It's a pity I can't show you first half, second half split, but that's total Juventus. 3-5-2 last year was a 5-man defense, which we didn't see this year. Look at Wea, higher. Cambiaso, higher. Players that entered. Whoop. Look, all of them higher. All of them super high. So, now for me, it makes no sense what you're saying about conservative. Yesterday, how can you say we were conservative? Yesterday, we were outclassed tactically, I believe, by Thiago Motta, and we were not able to give other. Probably they trained like on 2-3 patterns, and these 2-3 patterns were seen and blocked by Thiago Motta's Bologna, and we didn't think that we could do a 4th one or a 5th one. So hopefully we can invent 5, 6, 7 different patterns that will help us being more creative when if it's blocked on the left and on the right, that you can also go centrally. But again, if your midfield is entirely not working, then we have a problem. Domenico, who? It's not that Allegri doesn't want to play a 4-man defense. Who? Tell me who. Tell me who you play in a 4-man defense. But I want 4 players. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Plus, no, give me 8 players. 4 starting, 4 subs. That's what I want. Give me 4 players, 4 starters, 4 subs. That, according to me, we don't have. Today, we don't have. Then, if you will tell me, Beppe, Cambiaso starting as a left back. Wea starting as a right back. Danilo and Alexandro as his subs. I tell you that it makes no sense. I knew it. No, because yesterday Cambiaso 3 times is not covering in the back. It's a player that told you that he wants to attack, that his idol is Cancelo, and Cancelo is not really known to be the most defensive defender, or at least defensive fullback. Wea is learning the patterns of also tactically understanding how you have to defend, so he's loading from a striker to a wing back. So if you think that is now ready to play in Serie A, in a team from Allegri, as a right back, ragazzi. And then you forget another thing. Bremer is a player that is not called up with Brazil because it's a player that can't play a four-man defense. Because you are criticizing Allegri. Bremer, we gave him his chance in a four-man defense, he can't play. And from the moment that we gave him his chance, the coach of Brazil is saying, if he's starting to learn to play as a four-man defense, I call him up as a sub in Brazil. He tested him. This time, he has not been called up. Who has been called up for Brazil? Danilo. That's it. No Alexandro, of course. No Bremer. Bremer can't play today in a four-man defense really well. So, not only you are asking two offensive players on the wings to play really down and losing the qualities that we saw from Cambiaso, especially in that first game against Udinese, the velocity of Wea, the fact that he's really able to insert himself in the central part of the field to go on target, what he did yesterday, and he did in that friendly against Atalanta as well. So you are actually destroying these qualities to let them play in the back, because I know what is your thing. You want to play not with a four-man defense, you want to play with two-men in defense. And you are even putting Bremer in difficulty because it's not the role that he prefers. So you have only Gatti, that since he's at Juve always played in a three-man defense on the right side. The 3-5, I agree with Lorenzo that 3-5-2 is like Arif is saying, and so on and so on. It's not anymore about 3-5-2, 4-2-3-1, but Cambiaso is telling you, Pep Guardiola is telling you, everyone is telling you, stop thinking only about FIFA, where if you play a 4-2-3-1, if you play a 4-3-3, you can put your tactics so that the players are doing that movement. No, it's not only that. It's about how you interpret and how you understand the spaces that you can fill in. The lack of that space that is filled in by the opponents that you can understand and you can anticipate and see before the other ones. Changing your way of playing according to where the ball is, according to where your opponent is. If you see, and this was disallowed a few years ago, but now every single team from professional football, and I tell you, I saw exactly the same in Jupiler Pro League, Belgium, but also in Serie A, they all have a computer with exactly the same reports that I show you when I'm on Twitch of Juventus. They have exactly the same. So they see what I see, the two teams. So they can see where there are some spaces, where you have to fill in, where you have to adapt. So that 3-5-2 can become a 3-5-2 with the left one that is going super high and the one that is dropping down, or asking both of them to go up, where you don't become a 3-5-2 anymore, but a 3-3-4 at certain moments of the game. It can become a 5-man defense if you are in difficulty. So it depends. It's moving. It's changing. Yesterday it was not a 3-5-2 because Federico Chiesa is going so much on the wing that you are isolating Chiesa. Look where Chiesa is here. He's here. That's where he touched most balls, on the left, in the same position where Cambiaso should be. You see, and that's the thing about how you interpret a game. If you play with 3-man defense and it's Locatelli that is going down in defensive non-possession phase, you are with 4. if it's not Locatelli, but you are asking to your wingers to come down, you are playing with 5. You see? Ryzen, I wish I can see more of the training, Beppe, because the players all seem to have nice long shots in training, but they rarely use it during the game. I know it's more difficult, but still. But you will never see an entire training session, because the problem is not only Ryzen Cross will be able to see them, but also the opposition trainer. And if you already see how Thiago Motta was able, after one game and a preseason, to understand how to pay attention to Juventus and to block Juventus, that would be the disaster. But a Paul Pogba yesterday, that's why I tell you, RB Combs was saying earlier, but Paul Pogba at 50% is the best. No, at 50 not. At 75, yes. But it's not even at 50% at the moment. Yesterday, 2 times, he had the opportunity to really go with the rocket a la Paul Pogba. And this is something that we already saw last season when he entered, the few games that he entered. It happened that he had like the opportunity to go with the shot, and then he doesn't. He doesn't, and you see that he's hesitating. You see that he's hesitant. He wants to go. And last minute, no. And then he tries with a pass. That yesterday, because he said, I only miss minutes, I think he also missed mentally to be to dare and to feel 100% comfortable. Because yesterday he could, and the Paul Pogba that we know, that we all remember, scores there, or he go on target. Let's say he goes on target, because then Skorupski. Oh, ragazzi, 1 hour 30. I close the video here. We spoke about a lot. If you're watching a replay, thank you. I hope it was interesting. I got angry in the beginning of the video because I want to speak about that last part. I want to say that we were not good. I want to say that we have a lot of things to improve. I want to say that if we continue like that, it will be tough to win the Scudetto. I want to say about a lot of things. But unfortunately, yesterday, if we score that, if they allow that goal that we scored, we are at 1-1 at that moment with a lot of time to play. If they give us that penalty on Chiesa in the beginning, we go at 1-0 and it changed the game. Look at how it was against Udinese. If they whistle that handball, ragazzi, it's another game, yeah. And then also for Bologna, if they whistle that correct penalty and red card, we are down to 0 and we don't come back on the score sheet. And unfortunately, when you are speaking about one mistake, but we are speaking about 4 mistakes, it's a lot. Stavros is saying that it was a good live. Thank you. You know it, you know the drill. 11 p.m. channel of Romeo Agresti. I'm waiting for you because I'm curious if what I told you, he will push back. I'm curious about Sule, Caio Giorgi. I'm curious about a lot of Kostic. So this evening, join us there. It will be fun. See you at the home of Romeo Agresti. Ciao ragazzi.